that typically happens with the Congress. They start celebrating before they should. That's usually not a good idea. Remember Bihar 2015, outside the BJP office, there were firecrackers going off. Things turned out quite different. So, yes, the exact poll will give you a sense of which way the winds are blowing. But if you are smart, you'll keep watching India Today. But wait to celebrate till you get a good sense on the 13th. Popping any bubbly before that is always fraught with danger.
Particularly because it's Karnataka. You know, I keep saying there are very few states left where you have this kind of three-cornered competitive politics. There was a time when Uttar Pradesh would throw that round. Remember, Samajwadi Party, BSP and the BJP were all in the race.
No, but is it three-cornered any longer? That's the question.
We don't
find
know.
out
We
soon
don't know.
if the third corner holds, or is it going to crash? I think that's JDS's political future is at stake in this exact poll.
No, absolutely. Also because, Rahul, you know, we are going to go region by region.
No, absolutely.
And fascinatingly in Karnataka, last time the BJP led 3 regions, Bombay, Coastal and Central. Congress in 2, Bengaluru and Hyderabad, Karnataka, or Kalyan, Karnataka now. And JDS in Old Mysore. I'm supposed to now also call it Kittur, Karnataka. You know, it's become an extremely sensitive issue. You're not supposed to call it Bombay or Mumbai, Karnataka. It's now Kittur, Karnataka. We've got a Kannadiga in the studio, Dr. Sandeep Shastri. You have no problem calling it Bombay, Karnataka, Mumbai, Karnataka, right?
I think we
or North Karnataka. What do you want me to call it?
We are politically correct if we call it Kittur, Karnataka and Kalyan, Karnataka.
I see. Okay.
No, but our graphics are going to call it Bombay, Karnataka and Hyderabad, Karnataka for the simple reason that that's what it's largely known by. And these new region names are catching on. We will change it next time around, but this time we took a call to stick with the name that everybody understood. If they don't understand the name, then that's really just for Sandeep Shastri and Rajdeep.
Fair enough. Nabila, you're a Bengalorean. I presume your vote is there. Have you gone and voted? And along with you has the rest of Bangalore voted? They can't keep cribbing. They can't keep cribbing and not vote.
You know, this is precisely what we understand is urban apathy, and it's so disappointing, Rajdeep, that we're seeing Bengaloreans, urban parts of Bangalore, largely who have stayed away from voting. Either they blame the heat or anticipating rains, because the weather forecast showed the second half would be rainy day, the first half was slightly sunny. They just needed a reason to stay away from it, and largely we've seen that very dismal turnout. 62% though as of 5 p.m. It's still better than the last time. 55% that was recorded in 2018. 62% as of 5 p.m. This year is still slightly more satisfying. And I did hear you and Rahul speak a little about the JDS's prospects. I'd like to tell you that in Ramnagaram, which is known as the JDS bastion, has turned out the highest number of, the highest voting percentage, 63.3% as of 3 p.m. So you can only imagine it's the highest voter turnout for the JDS bastion of Ramnagar, where H.D. Kumaraswamy, Nikhil Kumaraswamy really belong from. So it appears this time for the JDS and largely for Karnataka, as much as we see while Narendra Modi comes to Karnataka, they talk about national security, it's otherwise largely been a hyper-local elections, with the JDS, in my view, faring fairly well in terms of voter turnout. Now, how many seats will they win? Only, of course, our exit poll will suggest that, and counting day will tell us a little more. But otherwise, it's unfortunate that the voters' turnout has just settled at 62% as of 5 p.m.
Okay, but every time someone...
DK Shivkumar riding an auto in Kanakpura.
Every time someone mentions, though, Ramnagaram, I am reminded of Gabbar Singh.
Surely.
Yeah. You know, it is, every time you cross Ramnagaram, you see all those scenes.
And now they build the Mysuru-Bengaluru highway.
That's right.
So you can actually see where Sholay was shot.
You know, and it's a great story. You know, Ramesh Sippy was told about by somebody that you should come and see this place. This is the ideal sort of space to sort of create this village with dacoits there, and it, you know, Areo Samba.
Sir,
I keep saying, where was Samba standing on those?
But Rajdeep, politically it also gave the JDS its, Phoenix moment, when Deva Gowda, who lost in 89 from elsewhere, came in and won in 1994 from Ramanagara. Sure. And today his grandson, Nikhil, is standing from Ramanagara. Who lost 2019. Yes, who lost 2019.
But you know, lots of Phoenix movements in Karnataka. Indira Gandhi's Phoenix movement, Chikmagalur.
Right. 1978.
What was it?
1978.
एक सौ लंगूर एक समथिंग 100 लंगूर चिकमगलूर that was the rallying cry when she took on Virendra Patil there in 78.
Right.
But what's your sense? Have you voted, by the way, Dr. Shastri?
I have voted.
So you
That's
voted
why I
and you
delayed
have
my
come-
coming to Delhi.
You voted?
I went early morning, voted, and then drove to the airport to come on time.
So
for
you've
your
been
program.
both local and national today. He's
Very
done the
good,
local
very
thing early morning and then he's been national in the studio with us.
Did you sense some enthusiasm at the polling booth and across Karnataka, or is it the same old urban apathy, especially in Bengaluru?
I am keeping my fingers crossed for Bangalore city because in the polling booths I saw there seemed to be a little more of enthusiasm. However, I stay on the outskirts of the city, so it is much more there. In the heart of the city where actually polling is often low, I am not too sure if there is any change that is happening. Rajdeep,
By the way, that ditty was Ek Sherni, Saul Langur, Chikmagalur, Chikmagalur. Indira Gandhi was the Sherni taking on the Virendra Patil and
in fact,
the rest of
Rajdeep,
the
if you
Janata
now
Party.
drive from Bangalore to Mysore, those hills of Ramnagaram
Oh,
are
yeah.
so visible because the highway straight takes you through the...
But sir, in the way
leaving
that
out
real
the
estate
towns.
is in Bengaluru, how long will those hills be visible? Because now there is a massive expressway that
That's
goes
true.
through. Since
That's also
1952, Karnataka has had 23 chief ministers, 10 of whom have been from the Lingayat community, 6 have been Vocaligas, 5 from the backward caste and 2 Brahmins. The question is, on the 13th, who is likely to be the next chief minister? The Lingayats and the Vocaligas together dominate between 48 to 58% of the seats of Karnataka. That's the kind of dominance that these two communities have.
But while we focus a lot on Lingayats and Vocaligas, I think one of the things, and maybe our exit poll will give us more data on this, is the Dalit and tribal voter.
Sure.
I think for much too long, particularly the Dalit voter, the BJP's rise is seen, Rahul, to be a Lingayat-driven rise, and to a large extent that's true. But the BJP, particularly last time, got a substantial vote of the Dalit left in particular. Those who felt even more oppressed than other Dalit groups. And it is, I think, going to be critical as to how
if
well
at
they
all
do.
Mallikarjun Kharge, as Congress president, has any role to play, especially in the Hyderabad-Karnataka region and to some extent in central Karnataka, we will find out when those exit poll numbers go up.
Sure,
And
he's
that's
an
the
SC,
same area.
he's an SC right,
Can I
which
make
is
a
traditionally
small point?
voted for Congress. But that doesn't, you're right. I think the fact that you've got a Dalit as a Congress president, it's his home bastion. He's won 11 times there.
Lost in
I think what's
2019.
important is both the BJP and the Congress this time have tried to create a rainbow coalition. Who is more successful in that? You have Lingayats plus part of Vocaligas plus the OBCs plus the Dalits which the BJP is trying to bring together. The Congress on the other hand with Ahinda and Vocaliga, the Vocaliga leader and the backward caste leader and the Dalit leaders and a chunk of Lingayat votes. So this rainbow coalition is being attempted by both the groups, and who succeeds better in that, I think, is the one who is going to cross the halfway mark.
Because, in 2018, the Congress made that critical mistake of virtually dividing the Lingayats by, suggesting that the Veerashaiva Lingayats will get separate religious status. It boomeranged. This time what they've done, they've given 51 Lingayats tickets. So they've actually wooed consciously Lingayats, including those who are in the BJP, the likes of Jagdish Shettar, Mr. Saudi. These are, particularly Mr. Saudi, I think was a big loss. You will find North Karnataka, in my view, Rahul, this election is being decided in North Karnataka, Old Mysore. North Karnataka, BJP has to hold its ground. And in Old Mysore, JDS has to hold its ground. If Congress breaches both these citadels, then I think you're going to have a real election where, who knows, the Congress could well be ahead of the
But
other.
Rajdeep, when you talk about the Lingayats, yes, they've given tickets to 51, Lingayats where Congress is concerned. But I would reckon it's that 5 guarantees that they are giving. It's actually working in terms of there seems to be a class divide within the Lingayat community. The more affluent, strongly behind the BJP, the rural, looking at the 5 guarantee card. More so, what is interesting, as Mr. Shastri can also weigh in, that BSY, Yediyurappa, who's larger than life, hasn't really come out strongly in support. You haven't seen him much, and people are seeing that he's missing.
This is the one big thing in this election, the first election in 30 years where BSY is not the face of the BJP. And I won't forget a press conference, Rahul, of the BJP announcing its manifesto. It was at 10 a.m. The only leader who had come at 10 a.m. was Mr. Yediyurappa, and he sat quietly in a corner. And then all the spokespersons and national leaders came, and I asked myself, can any of these leaders get even 1/10 of the vote that man can get you in Karnataka? And I don't know what the final number will be, but I do believe that Mr. Yediyurappa not being that active, hyperactive figure is a factor.